Hello, Robert Venn here, and today we're going to be looking at color connotations. I'm expecting you, when you're doing your textual analysis of your magazines or even your videos when it comes to that, to be considering the use of color and what the potential meanings of those colors are. Now, these are just some suggestions about what the colors could mean. They come from standard color theory. Right. So we're going to be looking at the connotations of different colours and how they can be used to create meaning. Obviously, we're going to be doing Assessment Objective 2, which is applying knowledge and understanding to show how meanings are created when analysing media products and evaluating your own practical work. Right, so these are the big 8 brand colours and the psychology behind those colours. We're going to go into these in more detail as we go along, but this is a nice infographic to give you some kind of basis. As you can see at the top here, you've got red. Red is the colour of fire and blood. So it's associated with energy, war, danger, strength, power, determination, as well as passion, desire and love. It's a hot colour. Going down, we've got more hot colours. We've got orange. Orange combines the energy of red, but the happiness of yellow. It's associated with joy, sunshine, the tropics, and of course oranges, so kind of healthiness, I guess. Then we've got yellow. Yellow is the colour of sunshine, so it's associated with joy, happiness, intellect and energy. It can also be quite a sickly colour as well, having said that. Green. Green is the colour of nature. It symbolises growth, harmony, freshness, fertility, but we also associate it with envy, the green-eyed monster. Then we're coming to blue. Obviously, it's a stereotypically masculine colour. It's the colour of the sky and the sea, so it's often associated with depth and stability. It also symbolises trust, loyalty, wisdom, confidence, intelligence, faith, truth and heaven for some reason. Coming up to purple. Purple combines the stability of blue but the energy of red. It's associated with royalty. It symbolises power, nobility, luxury, ambition. Remember, we also think of blue-blooded for the upper classes. Why is purple associated with that? Well, in order to be able to create the colour purple, it used to involve grinding down shellfish to get this kind of pigment out of them. This required massive amounts of work and labour, which meant purple was very expensive. In ancient Rome, for example, red and purple were reserved for royalty. For quite a lot of history, only royalty were allowed to wear purple. White. White is associated with light, goodness, innocence, purity. It symbolises safety, purity, cleanliness. In heraldry, it symbolises faith and purity. Black is associated with power, elegance, formality, death, evil and mystery. So that's kind of a basic rundown of what these colours can mean. We'll go into it in more detail bit by bit. So as I said, with red, we're talking the colour of fire and blood, so it's associated with energy, war, danger, strength, power, determination. It's also an erotic colour. You know, it symbolises passion, desire, love, sex. It's a very emotionally intense colour. It's got very high visibility, so it stands out, it pops. It's one of probably the most common colour that's used in mastheads for magazines. In heraldry, it's used to indicate courage. Think of the red badge of courage, for example. You know, there are other things we associate with red with. For example, in motor racing, red was the colour of Italy, which is why Ferraris are most commonly red. It was also the colour of the British Army, because the British redcoats wore red tunics. If you've got a lighter red, it's going more, you know, towards your orange kind of spectrum. It's more a colour of joy, of sexuality, of passion, of sensitivity and love. Pink is obviously a much more feminine colour. Ironically, pink was the most masculine of all colours up until the early part of the 20th century. Sometime at the beginning of the 20th century, up until 1920 at least, it flipped. Nobody knows why, and it became a feminine colour. Blue was often used as a female colour until then. Strange, isn't it? So anyway, pink signifies romance, love and friendship, but also femininity and passiveness. Darker red are associated with danger, with vigour, willpower, rage, anger, leadership, courage, longing, malice, wrath, but also it's a passionate, strong colour. Think of blood and sex and danger. Traffic lights, red means stop, indicates danger. Orange, like I said, it combines the energy of red with the happiness of yellow. So it's a hot, warm colour. It reminds us of summer, of sunshine, of joy, of enthusiasm, fascination, happiness, creativity, determination, attraction, success, encouragement, and stimulation. But it also reminds us of autumn, of the harvest, of the colour of the leaves changing on the trees. Not as aggressive as red. In heraldry, it's often a symbol of strength and endurance. Again, very highly visible colour, really pops off your backgrounds, very good for catching attention and highlighting the most important elements of your design. Yellow, that's again the colour of sunshine. It's a warm, cheerful colour. It's sunshine, it's summer. It connotes joy and happiness, intellect, energy, but also, ironically, cowardice. You've got a yellow streak, you're a coward. Yellow ribbons in American tradition have represented, remembrance for troops waiting for their homecoming. Yellow is seen before other colours apparently when placed against black. Yellow against black really pops. It really stands out. It's a really good colour used against a black background. That's why it's used as warnings. Think of your industrial patterning, your yellow and black stripes saying, caution. In heraldry, yellow indicates honour and loyalty. It's very effective for attracting attention, so use it to highlight the most important elements of your design. Men usually perceive yellow as very light-hearted, a kind of childish colour. Light yellow tends to disappear into white, so you use a dark colour to highlight it. Notice how the way I've used yellow up here to put a black stroke around it to make it pop against that grey background. And a drop shadow as well that helps it stand out. Gold, which of course is, kind of yellow, I guess. Obviously, that connotes success, achievement, triumph, abundance, prosperity, luxury, quality, prestige, sophistication, value and elegance, affluence, material wealth, extravagance. Particularly success, think of the gold medal. It's Olympic time. Think of the gold medal representing the ultimate of success. Obviously, gold is also a colour that represents eternity because gold doesn't rust, which is why, wedding bands are made of gold. It's linked to masculine energy, apparently. It's the power of the sun, compared with silver, which is associated with feminine energy and the sensitivity of the moon. Why? Well, obviously because, the moon and associated with the menstrual cycles and this kind of stuff, hence silver and moons and with femininity. So, as I said, it's a feminine colour. It's related to the moon, the ebb and flow of the tides. It's fluid, emotional, sensitive, mysterious, but it's also a very calming and soothing colour. It connotes prestige and wealth. Silver medal, second best next to gold, isn't it? It's seen as glamorous, sophisticated colour. It's related to prosperity and modernity. It looks very modern. It looks very high tech. We associate it with brushed aluminium, with metal, with modern sci-fi high tech kind of colour. It's very versatile. It's very good if you put a shiny kind of reflective coating on it. It's very modern, very high tech on one hand. It's alluring and sparkly and elegant on the other. It goes well with pretty much any colour. And from a negative aspect, it can be seen as very neutral and cold, so you've got to be careful how you're using it. Green is the colour of nature. Obviously, we think of green when we think of being environmentally friendly. It connotes growth, harmony, freshness, fertility. It's the most restful colour for the human eye, so it's very calming. It connotes stability and endurance. Wealth, because obviously it's the colour of American money. Envy, the green-eyed monster of envy. It can also look sickly, so it can associate sickness and rot and decay. It's also an ambitious colour, apparently. Green as opposed to red connotes safety. Think of go on a traffic light. In heraldry, it indicates growth and hope. Darker greens are associated with greed and jealousy, and again, it can look like a very rotten colour. Think of the colour of decay and rot. A yellowy green That looks quite sickly, to be honest. It can also represent cowardice, discord, jealousy. Olive green, well, that's traditionally the colour of peace, but ironically it's the colour of military uniforms, so it can also be represented as militaristic and violent. Blue, nowadays traditionally seen as a masculine colour. It's the colour of the sky, it's the colour of the sea, so it connotes depth, infinity, stability. It's a tranquil, calm colour, but it's also strong, especially darker blues. It looks trustworthy, represents loyalty, wisdom, confidence, intelligence, faith, truth, cleanliness, high tech, and freedom. But also very sadness. We talk about feeling blue. In heraldry, it's the colour used to symbolise piety and sincerity, as opposed to emotionally warm colours like red, orange, and yellow. Blue is linked to consciousness and intellect. It's an intelligent colour. It's kind of a coldness to it. Purple mixes the stability of blue but with the energy of red. It's associated with royalty, like I said earlier, because of the cost of the colour purple. It connotes power, nobility, luxury and ambition, wealth and extravagance, but also wisdom, dignity, independence, creativity, mystery and magic. Purple is a very rare colour in nature. You don't often see it. Is also a lighter purple because it's very close to pink, seen as being quite feminine. Then we've got white. Some people say black and white aren't even colours, they're more like mediums. So as opposed to black, white usually has a very positive connotation. It connotes light and goodness, innocence, purity, virginity, perfection, safety, high tech, purity and cleanliness. It's associated with hospitals, doctors, sterility. In heraldry, it also depicts faith and purity. In advertising, it's associated with coolness and cleanliness because it's the colour of snow. Black usually has a negative connotation, but it does connote strength and authority, power, elegance, formality, death, evil, mystery, fear, the unknown, misery, horror, secrecy, mourning, etc. But we think of it as being a very stylish colour. Think of the black dinner jacket, tuxedo. Think of the your typical Coco Chanel little black dress. In heraldry, it's the colour of grief. But it gives a feeling of perspective and depth. There's a kind of infinite quality to black. Think of the blackness of the night sky. But a black background can diminish readability. It can make text more difficult to read unless you've got really high contrast. So really thick, bold white writing on a black background is going to stand out pretty well. A black or grey background can be used to make the other colours stand out and pop. It particularly contrasts well with bright colours, white obviously, but red and orange and other powerful colours. Black is a very effective and aggressive colour scheme. Silver, gold pop really nicely against black. Grey, more of a neutral colour, generally considered on the cool end of the colour spectrum. It can sometimes be considered moody or depressing. Light greys can be used in place of white in some designs, and dark greys can be used in place of black. It's a very conservative and formal colour, but it looks very modern, very professional, very stylish. It's quite a common colour to be used at the moment because it looks very modern. As a matter of interest, the reason why I use grey backgrounds in these PowerPoint presentations is because apparently if you are dyslexic, black writing stands out better against grey than it does against white, which is why I use the grey backgrounds. Brown, obviously is a colour of nature. It's wood. It's a very warm, neutral colour. It's associated with earth, wood and stone. Brown can be associated with dependability and reliability, with steadfastness, with earthiness. It can, of course, also be considered dull, and it can also be negatively associated with feces. It helps to bring a feeling of warmth and wholesomeness to designs. Beige and tan, bit of a bland, boring, dull, conservative, neutral colour. Beige can take on a cool or warm tone depending on the colour surrounding it. It's the warmth of brown but the coolness of white. Usually in design it's used as backgrounds, commonly seen in backgrounds with a paper texture to make it look like parchment. It can take on the characteristics of the colours around it, meaning it has little effect in itself, but on the final impression design gives when used with other colours. It's also seen as quite sophisticated. You know, it's a neutral colour, so it's not going to offend anybody. Right, now to get a bit more complicated stuff. You've got your colour wheels. This gives you some idea of what colours go with other colours. It can be quite complicated. We've got CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow and black, RGB, red, green, blue. RGB colours are used for displays on computer screens, and CMYK is used for printing. Now, I've got your colour meanings down here again. There are different ways in which colours can be seen to go with another or contrast one another. So you've got analogous colours. They are colours that are adjacent to each other on the colour wheel. So as you can see, red and orange and yellow are analogous. They're next to each other. We've got complementary colours because they're on opposite sides of the colour wheel. So, you've got kind of like your blue-greens down here with your oranges up here, your red-orange spectrum. You've got your yellows with your blue-violet. So yellow against a blue background for text, yellow text against a blue background will really pop. You've got triadic colours, which are colours separated equally apart on the colour wheel. So red, yellow, blue. They're triadic. And then you've got split complement, a colour and the two colours next to its complement on the colour wheel. So opposite yellow, you've got blue and violet. Again, colour harmony, it's another image of that. So you've got complementary, violet against green, yellow. You've got analogous, so you've got your kind of like ice blue and your green and yellow, yellow, green. Split complementary, green with violet and orange. Triadic, violet, ice blue, yellow. Tetradic, so one colour and the two opposite versus the opposite colour and the two, well, analogous, not opposite actually. So one colour is analogous colours, opposite another the opposite colour and its analogous colours. They were quadrilateral, purple with orange with yellow and blue, four sides of corners of a cube, well, square I should say. This is important. When it comes to the design of your magazine, the amount of times you see people putting colours that just do not go together. Trying to put scarlet red on a deep blue, for example, just looks awful. It just really looks bad. You want colours that are going to contrast, especially for your cover lines, your text, your mastheads. You want them to pop. So you want to be putting contrasting colours against one another. Yellow text against a blue background, yellow text against a red background, red text against the yellow background, white text on a black background, black text on a white background. You want them to pop, you want them to contrast, you want them to be easily readable. So think very carefully about the colours. Sometimes I look at people's work and I think, are you colourblind? That's just vile. So really think about how you're going to use these colours when you're analysing the magazines you're looking at. If you look at it on a masthead and it's red, ask yourself, why is it red? Why have they done it that colour? What meanings are they trying to connote? And I want you to analyse that in the magazines that you are analysing. Or indeed, if you're doing second year, look at the music videos or whatever it is you're analysing. Okay, more information can be found about this online. As you can see, there's a couple of links there. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll talk to you again.